During ENCE's Pro League matchup against forZe, they ran quite an interesting pistol run on the T side of Anubis. This pistol run involved 3 players having a set of utility, and allowed for a pretty easy take of the bomb site, despite 2 players being on the site already, as well as 1 on fast rotate. Here's the overhead view showing the players setting up. 3 players go through the higher, 2 through the lower, and then they set up with grenades that are going to be shown later on through individual POVs. But the thing that allowed this to be quite unique, in my mind at least, was the chances of a team having enough manpower towards the bomb site is very slim. The first player in, NertZ, gets absolutely dominated by dualies, and then it's a free take. You've got a smoke on the actual connector stairs to mid, you've got a smoke on upper, and a Molotov on the left hand side peak as well, meaning that this plant is for free. However, the key thing about this take is not the first set of grenades, it's the actual bomb plant, which is just hidden near where SunPayus just walked from there, otherwise known as the fishtail on the actual bomb site. The bomb is planted there for an easy post-plant Molotov, which you'll see shortly. The first player shown is dycha. So dycha buys Kevlar, and he is given a Molotov by a different player. The different player being Maden, obviously you'll see his POV later on. He actually sits here holding for this. I'm not sure if this is actually a peak or what. It must be because he's so hyper-focused on it. But he then takes the little check towards mid-window, right, as you see here. He checks towards con. Nice and clean little checks, nothing special. But he does have that Molotov like I mentioned. So this Molotov he throws is for the pillar close on the entrance here. That pillar molly is actually kind of necessary due to the fact that people do like to play there with a USP on pistol, and it's kind of a free kill for the CT typically. But dycha, very strong trade, gets the kill towards upper as well, some pot shots towards the smoke that's been placed down, and he actually doubles up with Snappi towards the back entrance just because they know Snappi has the Molotov, it's kind of key to win the round. Second up is SunPayus. He has a smoke and a Molotov, this one. So he is one of the 3 players that does go towards the upper at the start of the round. You can note where they start walking from. It's just near these windows, which means that if anybody got towards the close entrance of this A tunnel, they'll see you. And also note the silent drops there as well, so you'll need to practice those. So he throws a Molotov and a smoke, as I just mentioned. He smokes the actual upper window side on the right, as well as the left-hand upper peak as well. One note, I saw that this was a moving forward jump throw on the actual smoke, and the second one was just a standing still jump throw. So make sure you practice that one because it does seem to have quite a bit of variability depending on what kind of jump throw line you do use. Next up is Maden. As I mentioned, he did drop a Molotov towards dycha, so he bought a smoke and then got given a flashbang by Snappi. So he's one of the 3 players going towards upper as well, and you'll need to note his smoke is quite different, I think it's fair to say. So if you don't know how to do the silent drop as well, you kind of go right to the edge and then keep tapping towards crouch, letting go of crouch. It's a really interesting thing that you need to do. But this smoke, this is a double click jump throw. You'll need to practice this because it's really necessary to get it on the right step because otherwise it's not as impactful. Fourth player up is NertZ. Has quite a short-lived life, as you saw from the POV of dycha. He's the first player coming in. He has armor. Might be worth noting he makes a bit too much noise during this, because he does run straight to this area and gets in the water, which, if you're on A site, the player would 100% hurt him. And then coming back as well, he makes noise jumping out. makes noise in the wood here as well. Quite a loud bit of movement, really, which could have probably been avoided. And last up is the IGL Snappi. So as I mentioned, he has a Molotov for the post plant, he has one flash on him, and he drops one flash towards Maden. So consider the actual angles he goes for here. He drops off of upper because he has no armor. And then the key thing is, he makes sure to get back across the wood, because his lineups are a bit different from the others. So he makes sure that nobody bumps into each other on the bridge, just in case. And then does line up the simple flash on the entrance here. Normal jump throw. And then he keeps his Molotov for the post plant later on. And the Molotov for the post plant is very simple, you'll see it a bit later on here. But it is just essentially banging it off of the corner, or the curvature of one of the... It's essentially pillars, but it's not a pillar, it's an actual corner of a wall.